About 3 years into my career, I started hearing some negative feedback about how I carried myself around campus. A fellow faculty member stopped by and said, "Just so you're aware, some people are saying you're kind of a self-promoter." This is funny to hear as an academic because my first response was, yeah, who isn't? But then another person, a staff member, told me the same thing. No one would tell me who was saying this, why they were saying it, or what exactly they wanted me to do about it. How was I promoting myself? I couldn't get to the bottom or the source of this criticism, and I felt wholly on the defense. I was out to lunch with a friend moaning about these criticisms I kept hearing, and he said, "Well, even if the criticism is unfounded, can you find a kernel of truth in there?" When I stopped and thought about it without focusing on my own hurt feelings, I could see there was. Admittedly, I'm an enthusiastic and expressive person, perhaps not the most common personality traits among academics. And I realize I tend to excitedly talk a lot about my students, jobs they got, research they did, insights they shared in class. While I didn't feel I was shamelessly self-promoting, I began to see how my constant enthusiasm for my role could be interpreted as tooting my own horn. This doesn't mean I toned down my enthusiasm. In fact, some of this felt like the regular shit women hear about themselves when they have any kind of success, but it did make me more mindful about certain ways I express it. Criticism is going to be 80 to 90% rubble, but shake the pan a little and see if there's any gold. Then throw out everything that is just the stuff of fools. Number 4, it hurts, but it won't kill you. I once wrote an article for a major print publication. When it went up online, I was thrilled to see a handful of nice comments pop up. But then came one that shook me a bit. Then another, and another. I'd never seen such anger spewed over an article that I didn't think was all that controversial. These comments attacked my writing, my teaching, and even my mental stability. While I knew that just because the comments were written didn't make them true, and I was certainly considering the sources, I did feel humiliated by the ass-chewing these anonymous people were giving me. My first reaction was, I should never write again. My second reaction was, well, I'll keep writing, but I'll stop trying to publish. My third reaction, what do I want for lunch? In the moment, it seemed like a big fat deal to be trash-talked on the internet, but then I realized it didn't kill me. It didn't interrupt my life. It didn't cost me my job. It didn't even stop me from writing. Not even for a day. It just made for a few minutes of stewing, and that was it. That was it. An hour later, I was enjoying a chicken salad sandwich with a friend. Hey, hearing and reading bad stuff about yourself is never fun or easy. But take heart knowing you will ultimately be okay. Number 5, be the criticism you wish to see in the world. I don't claim to know sports all that well, but allow me to use this metaphor. The best defense is a good offense. You cannot avoid the criticism that is coming at you, nor should you. It's not only proof you are doing something substantial enough to criticize, but it's also the very thing that can make you even better. I find the best thing I can do is to be mindful of the criticism I give. I try to resist making catty comments, behind-the-back remarks, or mean-spirited gossip. I don't rip authors to shreds on good reads, and I don't attack strangers on social media. I reserve criticisms for when I know the person is open and asking for feedback, and then I try to make it helpful and constructive. This does a couple of things. 1, it sets an expectation to others about how I would like to receive feedback, and 2, it helps me rest easy when I get a mean student evaluation or hear a super snarky comment about my work because I know I'm not guilty of being reckless with my criticism of others. Even still, criticism sucks. Embrace that it sucks and try to remember that some things are simply unavoidable. Some critiques will be outliers, some will be helpful, perhaps all of them will be hurtful. But in the end, all you can do is be the best you can, learn when you can, and let the rest go. Growing up, my favorite television show was Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist, an animated series on Comedy Central in the late 1990s. Come to think of it, I might have been a weird kid. On the show, comedian Jonathan Katz voiced the therapist while a variety of comedian stand-up routines were repurposed as the ramblings of his patients. While it was by no means my first introduction to comedy, it did efficiently expose me to many of the most famous modern comedians. From that point on, I became obsessed with the profession. What other profession demands high-energy performance, prompts brutal self-reflection.